Thank you, sir. My question is to the Minister for Education. Can the Minister update the House on the Marshall Liberal Government's record investment in capital works across a range of government schools and preschools?
The Minister for Education.
Thank you, sir, and I thank the member for Flinders for his questions. He represents an area of regional South Australia, the Eyre Peninsula, the West Coast. Indeed, along with the member for Giles, probably pretty much the western half of South Australia is captured in those two electorates. It's a significant part of our state, and while the population is dispersed fairly heavily, the children and young people of the western half of South Australia deserve a world-class education, one that, as the Marshall Liberal Government has the ambition for, will deliver them support to fulfil their potential, whatever town they're in, whatever kindy they're in, or whatever classroom in whatever school they're in. Of course, there is a substantial body of work that has been going on for some time as part of our record $1.3 billion in public school infrastructure investment. It's a record investment in infrastructure in our public school system in the history of South Australia, and it was enhanced last Thursday with the announcement of $42 million worth of further projects. The member asks for an update on how the projects are going, and in terms of these significant capital works, the member for Flinders, I'm sure, will be pleased to know that the Sir Junior Area School upgrade, $4 million upgrade, is on track for completion later this year, currently looking like September. The $4 million upgrade at Cummins is also on track for completion by the end of Term 4, as is the substantial $15 million upgrade at Port Lincoln High School. These are important projects that will see increased support for the teaching and learning in those schools. I mentioned the member for Giles, of course, and of course our government has indeed supported the development of educational infrastructure in line with the suggestions, the recommendations of the Education Department, blind to whichever political party those seats are in. And indeed, in the member for Giles's electorate, the Roxby Downs Area School has a $7 million upgrade on track to be completed by November. And I had a video call with the principal at Roxby Downs in the last few weeks. They are very excited about that, as they are indeed excited about the two teachers under the Teach for Australia program that are doing some fantastic work with their specialist backgrounds in STEM areas, supporting high-quality specialist teaching and learning in Roxby Downs. Also, a $2 million CWAS loan provided to the Memorial Oval Primary School. We'll see a new gymnasium built there, currently looking like February next year. Certainly in the first half of next year that will be built. And, as the Marshall Liberal Government has committed since 2018, the $100 million new secondary school, the Whyalla Secondary College, in Whyalla, will be delivered in time for the beginning of next year. Labor, of course, had 16 years in government where they could have upgraded these facilities.
Deputy Premier.
I'm sure the member for Giles can enlighten any of his colleagues about the history of this project. Start, stop, announced potentially about 2 or 3 months before the last election as basically an election promise. This government's delivering it, and indeed, it's on track for completion. In November this year, thanks to the work of the Marshall Liberal Government. I'm really pleased to also advise the member for Flinders that last Thursday we announced a further $2 million to relocate the Elliston Kindergarten. The Elliston RSL Memorial Children's Centre is located in a low-lying area with sustained high groundwater levels, sustained high moisture and dampness issues, potential high flooding and high capital costs to combat ongoing moisture issues. Mouldy carpet, damaged floor, rectification needed of salt damp. This is a facility that's been in need of rectification for a significant period of time. And the Marshall Liberal Government, in line with the way that we've approached educational infrastructure, has listened to the Education Department in terms of their priorities. This is being seen as one of the highest priorities, so $2 million will see that relocated to the area school so that the children and young people of Elliston, like others around South Australia, will have access to world-class facilities. This work to start soon and be completed in the next 2 financial years.